It's Talk Funny, a podcast by Mark Bailey and other comics from all over. We came to Japan to do online teaching and prove that there is such a thing as a stupid question. There are thousands of them. The Talk Funny podcast from NagoyaRadio.com and Nagoya Comedy. Here's Mark Bailey.
Welcome back to another edition of Talk Funny. Mark Bailey and Steve Howard here.
Hey.
We're big fans of Kill Tony.
Yep.
Tony Hinchcliffe. I had never heard of him. So what kind of a name is Kill Tony, you know? But it's
Yeah.
Kill It on the Stage is where
Right.
it came from. Apparently, though, Tony Hinchcliffe, he was a huge writer for the roasts on
Comedy Central?
Comedy Central.
Yep.
Yeah. Huge writer. And he would write, when they had celebrities, which aren't funny, you know, Caitlyn Jenner, Hugh Hefner, he would write the jokes for them. And he would, you know, get back into comics. And he's a great roaster.
Yeah.
Him and Jeff Ross would do those. And so Kill Tony, if you haven't seen it, very entertaining. For the people at Nagoya Comedy that do open mic and they complain about a 3-minute or a 5-minute limit, try 60 seconds.
Yeah.
They call your name. You don't know you're going on.
Yeah.
You put your name in a bucket. And people are at a bar having drinks. They call your name. You have a very short period of time to get there. Just a few seconds, so you're blacklisted.
Right.
You have to be ready. And then a lot of them will get on. You have 60 seconds. And after 60 seconds, you get a meow.
Yep.
And after 65 seconds, you get a rah from the bear. Sorry.
I was going to say West Hollywood Bear, I think is what they called it.
Which is a gay joke. How dare them? And
Tony Hinchcliffe lived in that area.
yeah. It's so funny. Apparently, he is straight, but he's the gayest looking guy.
Yeah. And what did he say? He said, if you ever want to see a straight, gay-looking guy, I'm it, or something.
So that's the show, and Dave Lucas is on something.
Oh, yeah.
He's a roast man.
Yeah, he's great.
Large black man, and every one of his jokes is, Tony, I hear you just got married. What's your husband's name? He's amazing.
Yeah, he's great.
I saw him in New York.
Yeah.
He's really great.
Yeah, I think he retired from being a regular on Kill Tony, but he's probably the best I've ever seen on there as a regular.
And there's a guy that used to be the sax player.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot his last name. And he has a new shtick now on YouTube. It's unscripted.
Oh, okay.
So audience members just call out. And I was thinking of trying this for Nagoya Comedy. But you probably need 2 people for this. You can bounce off of each other and riff. Because one person, you're just going to get, somebody's going to throw something at you.
Sorry, Jeremiah? Wapner? Sorry.
Jeremiah Watkins, I think.
Yeah, Jeremiah Watkins, yep.
And he's the host. He does a great job. He'll put on, I'm thinking of actually trying this in Nagoya Comedy. He'll put on a comic for a minute or 2, and people just yell out things, you know, like Arctic Circle, and, you know, penguin sex, and hot yoga. You know, they'll say something like, you know what's difficult at the Arctic Circle? Hot yoga.
Especially if you've got the founder, Burkham, chasing you through the snow.
So he'll let them flail on stage, but these are professional comics for, you know, about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then he'll come on, and they bounce off of each other, and that's the best part.
Yeah.
And he's really come out of his shell. He was just a sax player at the time. And I don't think he got along with Tony.
Yeah.
He never got the... He would do some good jokes, and Tony would just, you know, talk over him.
Yeah, tell him to shut up.
I'm starting to think that Tony Hinchcliffe has a little bit of an ego. Kill Tony. We're never going to be on.
You know when he's quiet, though, when Joe Rogan's on his show, he's really quiet. Don't know why.
Tony Hinchcliffe had a scandal, it was a year and a half ago, anti-Asian rant.
Right.
And I saw it, and I thought that it wasn't anti-Chinese. I thought it was anti-woke white people.
Yeah.
Because he was saying, oh, no, we can't criticize a Chinese person. No, we can't criticize China to just make everything that we use. No, we can't. Because he's anti-woke white people. And he insults white people a lot. That's what I thought it was. But anyway, he was semi-canceled. He had a lot of problems. So he got a surrogate regular named Hans Kim, the Korean guy. And he's really funny. Yeah. But I swear to God, don't you think that Tony Hinchcliffe is writing most of his material?
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly some questions about that for sure. The style seems very similar.
It's kind of like I can't. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, because they said Hans Kim was, you know, living in his van and was completely unknown, and then all of a sudden now he's headlining all over the United States and actually all over the world because he was in South Korea not too long ago.
And his jokes kill. I mean,
they're
they
great.
sound like Tony Hinchcliffe roast jokes.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like I'm not black, so I can't tell black jokes, so I'm going to get a guy. It's kind of blackface. It's black body. I'm going to get a black body to tell my racist black jokes on stage, and you can't cancel me because I got my slave. I mean my Asian slave. I mean my black slave. He said it. I got my puppet. It's basically Edward Bergen. No, the dummy. I mean, the smart Asian said it.
And by the way, Tony, if you hear this and you want to come on our podcast and roast us over this, you're more than welcome.
You're more than welcome. We'll pay you what we get paid.
Yeah.
We'll pay you double. That's 2 times 0. We'll pay you double what we get paid. So Hans Kim, a lot of good jokes. I know Tony Hinchcliffe's style, and it just sounds like Tony Hinchcliffe. But anyway, good for Hans. He's got a girlfriend, and he's doing well. But, he's kind of the shield. He's the beard. He's the comic beard for Tony Hinchcliffe to not be racist. But he had this one joke that I discussed with you before, and I was working on a joke, I guess it was March, when the Chinese spy balloon was like all over the U.S. I couldn't come up with a good joke, and then Hans Kim did one that I'm sure Tony wrote, and it said, what about this Chinese spy balloons? What about these balloons? I mean, they're gigantic. I mean, I think gender reveal party is really getting out of hand. And he said, and if you poke the balloon, if it's a boy, you get confetti and smoke. And if it's a girl, nothing happens. You lose. Try again.
Gets thrown in the Yellow River.
And that was his joke. I can't find when SNL did this on We Can't Update. That's what it's called. We Can't Update. Then I saw that same joke, but they abbreviated it. But it was the same we discussed before. If you have a similar premise and a different punchline, you probably didn't copy my joke. Because airline food, right?
Yeah.
Chicken nuggets. What's in that? I mean, everybody has the right to do those premises. But if your wording and your punchline is the same as mine, you rip me off.
Yeah.
What are the odds? And their wording was exactly the same.
Well, I mentioned to you that I saw on CNN about Saudi Arabia had bought the PGA Tour. And when I saw that, I immediately wrote some jokes about it. And then literally, like the next day, I watched Kill Tony, and William Montgomery, another regular...
I highly recommend him. He's Sam Kinison reincarnated.
Yeah. Well, he came on and did a bunch of Saudi Arabian jokes about the PGA Tour and Saudi Arabian jokes, and they weren't the same as mine, but very, very similar, and I was really worried about that, and you basically told me the same thing. You said, well, the premise can be the same as long as the punchline and the setup and punchline and everything aren't the same. It's not plagiarism, so don't worry about it.
You think you could paraphrase like what his was and what yours was? Because I didn't see it.
Yeah, I'd have to. I don't remember exactly what his were now, but mine were... we aren't going to get killed for these, are we? The first one was, Saudi Arabia bought the PGA Tour, and, which is cool, but it brings up some questions. For example, if during public executions on the green, are golf claps okay? Or
I remember.
That was the first one. Yeah.
I would add one. The Saudis, they have a golf course, and their only stipulation is they don't want to be vulnerable, so they don't like tall buildings, so no tall buildings. Even in New York. You can use that. Yeah. But was his funny?
Oh, yeah, they were good. I mean, they were definitely great jokes. So
I'm wondering if Hinchcliffe is helping him, too.
Yeah, hard to say.
His punchline is, S the F up. That's his punchline. He screams. He's kind of inking in on my territory with the screaming and stuff. I've been doing this for years. So what else we have on Kill Tony? We make it easy for open mic. I mean, you have 3 to 5 minutes, and a lot of them aren't funny. But for a minute, in front of, you'll have Joe Rogan on. You'll have Bert Kreischer. You'll have Bill Burr.
Yeah.
And always Tony Hinchcliffe. And you're up there for 60 seconds, and they'll talk to you for 15 minutes or 10 minutes about how bad 60 seconds was, right? And the way you're dressed. They just roast you.
Yeah.
You think our open mic is hard.
Yeah. I mean, the worst you're going to get at our open mic is, dead silence after your set.
But I ran it through my head, through my Jewish autistic head, and I thought, Tony Hinchcliffe is going to roast me on maybe the way I'm dressed or my weight or something. And I'm going to have 12 one-liners ready and destroy him, and I'll never be back on Rogan. I won't be on Bert Kreischer's podcast, and I'll never be back on Kill Tony.
Well, I also...
But I'm winning, like Charlie Sheen.
Well, one thing, I don't know, it seems like a big difference between when he did his show in L.A. and now when he's doing it in Austin. I mean, he'll always roast you no matter what, but he used to me it seemed like... if you had a bad set and he roasted you, he'd still give you a chance. But now it's like if you have a bad set or a good set, but during the interview, if he doesn't find you interesting, then he'll just kick you off. I mean, so which I feel like, I don't know, to me that seems like something that maybe has changed since L.A. to Austin.
Did he move to Austin?
Yeah, he's there permanently now.
He probably resents it. They all resent Joe Rogan.
Well,
and Elon Musk for bringing them there.
I think that maybe they're lying, but it seems like their opinion has changed because Joe's the Mothership Comedy Club has opened, and they're all doing sets and stuff there, and a lot of them now are just mainly working out of Austin. They're not even really traveling. Kill Tony doesn't travel around the United States anymore, so I think they like that part.
I have another thing to go on, but we're over time.
Okay.
Come back next week with Steve Howard, Mark Bailey on Talk Funny.